Demons, devils, daemons, no matter what you like to call them, they permeate our media. In Christianity, they are literally the source of all evil. In movies and games, these horned fellows serve as the perfect template to create a cast of terrifying baddies that are easy to hate. For the purposes of this video, I will be using the umbrella term fiends or demons to describe these types of creatures. I'd like to explore the role that fiends play in our stories, our worlds, and our games. Specifically, my tabletop role-playing game, Nacks. I've put an interesting spin on them I think everybody can love to hate. First, I'd like to talk about their place of origin. Fiends have existed since as long as there has been history. But why? They have an entire plane of existence that serves as an analog to heaven. Some call it hell or the abyss, but I will refer to it as the demon realm. Hell and the abyss can be subsections of this treacherous dimension, housing their unique flavor of fiends. The demon realm is a prison to these creatures. It houses unusual biomes that are nearly impossible to sustain life in. Scorching hot wastelands, oceans of toxic debris, volcanic islands amidst seas of lava, caves where you can hear the constant buzz of electrical current flowing through the rocks, and many other seemingly impossible environmental conditions exist inside of the demon realm. With such a horrible place, it's no wonder they would like nothing more than to escape to the realm of man. Unfortunately for fiends, they have very few means to escape. On occasion, portals will open up in specific places where atrocities occur, allowing fiends to pour in by the dozens. These portals never last too long, as the zealots of the world seek to exterminate the fiendish vermin and their spawn points. Other portals are kept closely guarded secrets by the more sinister fiends, allowing for transportation to and from the realm of fiends whenever needed. Much more commonly, fiends will come to the material plane via summoning rituals. Weaker fiends are subjugated and forced into less than favorable deals to do the bidding of mortals. They end up as familiars, scouts, or fodder for the front lines. Stronger fiends are less predictable, but can temporarily be placated by offerings of blood and wealth. The mightiest amongst fiends are beyond control, and the most a summoner can hope for is to point them in the direction of their desires, and to get out of the way. Fiends of all breeds relish the opportunity to slay mortals and destroy their creations, so summoners have a certain degree of leeway in the deals that they make. This does not prevent fiends from regularly devouring the less savvy among them, going on a very brief rampage before they return back to the demon realm. Other times, demons can form on the material plane itself, the realm of man. More on that later. Next, I'd like to talk about the creation of the species. Like animals, wind, and rain, fiends are a force of the universe. Fiends are a punishment inflicted upon humanity by the gods, specifically punishing them for the worst of their misdeeds: war, torture, large-scale destruction of the natural world. The two main ways a demon is created is through despicable deeds and despicable deaths. Despicable deeds happen on an individual level, where a creature slowly turns into a demon over time. Common wisdom teaches that demons form from the sinful acts of mortals that inflict great pain, suffering, or destruction. The more common and the more extreme the acts someone takes part in, the more quickly the transformation happens. Killing a few hapless farmers would contribute far less than burning down the farms that feed a local town, causing a famine that could potentially kill many more. The changes to the individual are gradual and hard to notice at first. small bumps forming on top of the forehead, the tailbone extending into a vestigial limb, and sharpening teeth are common physical transformations. Typical things that are viewed as bad are not sufficient enough to warrant a demonic transformation. Things like theft or negligence might be negative, but they lack a certain visceral component that makes an act seem inhumane. Inhumane is the perfect word, since walking the path of the Fiend, you are abandoning your humanity. These creatures are literally burning away their humanity, and as such, feelings of love, empathy, and respect will erode away completely, leaving only the hedonistic desires of sexual gratification, consumption, and destruction. The transformation is the culmination of all of their despicable acts, and is usually dramatic, involving plenty of fire and blood. The other method that demons are created is through despicable deaths. Sometimes individual acts are more than enough to cause a demon to be formed. As an example, imagine an unsavory group of mercenaries, known for their cruelty as much as their efficiency. After a job, they start harassing a town, making all manner of unreasonable demands. One of the townsfolk doesn't give the leader their respect they deserve, so they decide to toss a fire blast into the nearest building. Instantly, the street is filled with screams of pain and terror as the orphanage/puppy kennel burns to the ground. Even the hardened mercenaries struggle to swallow and regain their composure as they look upon their leader in horror. Everybody is stunned, too afraid to act out of turn unless this mercenary roasts them next. A minute goes by, and suddenly the screams of anguish grow louder as flaming skulls fly out of the window and the hellhounds start pouring out of the doors, chasing down the nearest living thing. Now it's a fight to survive against the fiendish creations of these cruel mercenaries. These types of encounters are not entirely uncommon during times of war, where the large-scale suffering of innocents is hand-waved in favor of political, military gain. Usually, cruelty all on its own is insufficient to cause demonic infestations. It requires acts so heinous it can bring you to tears. How could the gods allow this to happen? What have we done to deserve such cruelty? As such, the exploitation of those particularly vulnerable, such as the young or the wounded, are common triggers. But not all hate demons. Some believe that there are those worthy of redemption out there. In the pantheon of Nacks, there is a god known as Rosaria, known by many as the goddess of love. Her followers have a much higher threshold for what they consider beyond redemption, and will go out of their way to hunt down and capture demons to convert them back into humanoids. Even through their magical research and divine blessings, not all can be saved. The almost mindless beasts created by outbreaks are usually too far gone. Such creatures are many souls trapped in a singular body, hell-bent on delivering the pain and suffering that was afflicted upon them during their creation. As such, the only humane thing to do is to destroy their flesh prison and release their souls so that way they may rest. Those that gradually transformed from a person into a fiend are much better candidates for the Brazarian purification ritual. Just as they slowly lost themselves by tossing aside their humanity, the Brazarian priests and priestesses nourish the seed of humanity that lies dormant within them. Treating them with kindness and compassion can only go so far. Usually research is necessary to figure out who this person once was. Through discussion about what drove them down this dark path, and about the connections they left behind, they can slowly open the hearts of these fiends. Once they get the ball rolling, they perform a magical ritual that either eradicates the demon or transforms them. The result is dependent on how well the priests attend to the demon during their imprisonment, how well the ritual is performed, and, most importantly, how willing the captured fiend is to change and repent for their sins. A successful ritual creates an entirely new breed of humanoid that is a mix of man and fiend called a Hellion. Many immediately dedicate themselves to Berseria. Others work to fix the bridges they've burned. The memory of their misdeeds while a demon is permanently burned into their psyche, so many do anything they can to make things right. Personally, I love Fiends. That isn't to say I wish I was a 30-foot tall, had magic powers and claws the size of a man so I could tear people limb from limb, though that would be pretty cool. What I mean when I say I love Fiends is that I love entities in fantasy that cause friction. Fiends are useful as a tool in your arsenal of evildoers. It's always nice to have an enemy that requires basically no description in order for people to know, yeah, these are the bad guys. Fiends also have an interesting dynamic to them, where they represent the worst sides of humanity. In that sense, they are a part of us. Imagining them as a physical manifestation of the universe, telling us that we're doing life wrong, is so cool to me. It makes the world literally feel alive. Like humanity is a virus that needs to be cured before it spreads, if it continues down the path of evil and suffering. Many fiends are intelligent, and so they distinguish themselves from many other monsters, like slimes or lions. The fact that they contain the worst parts of us, and worse yet, an intimate understanding of these parts and how to weaponize them against us makes them perfect for offering the forbidden fruit to our heroes in training. It is easy to say, I would never do something so foolish, as a spectator, but there is a confluence of factors, such as life experiences and current morale, that fuel the internal calculus of important decisions. Sometimes even the most noble of souls will accept the aid of a demon if they believe it to be their only way to save their country, their town, or their family. Those types of moments where fiends drag you down to their level and cause you to question everything you thought you knew about yourself are the moments I live for. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to hear about a specific topic, leave a comment and I'll try to include it in a future video. Subscribe if you want to see it. I love talking about game design in general, but tabletop RPGs are my favorite. I have links for my Twitter, Discord server, and the OneNote document I've been writing my own TTRPG in the comments below. It's called Nacks, and it's most similar to Pathfinder 1st Edition. I'm working on a website right now where you can see it in all of its glory. When I'm done, I'll post that link in this video too. I regularly post some of my favorite and latest stuff on both my Discord server and my Twitter. But until then, farewell, fellow gamers.